Chicago's migrant community on edge tonight. This after a reported U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement raid attempt on Hamline Elementary School. U.S. Secret Service released a statement this evening confirming its agents, not ICE, went to the school to investigate a threat against a government official under their protection. CPS says it's turned those agents away in line with its policies to protect migrant students. Samantha Smiley, state education reporter with Chalkbeat Chicago, joins us live for further discussion on CPS's immigration and deportation policy. Samantha, thanks for joining us. You got to think it was Secret Service agents, but people were so scared that it could be ICE agents that they put the school on soft lockdown.
Yeah. I mean, in this moment in time, it is scary for especially that community. Back of the yards is where the school is at. And that school also largely serves a large Latino population. Um, and it's just telling that a lot of people were scared at the school and immediately thought that it was ICE.
We know that the president said, even when he was campaigning, that Chicago was going to be the first hit when it came to deportation of migrants. And it seems as though that our people are ready and prepared. But as far as CPS is concerned, now he says they can go into schools, into hospitals and things like that. What is CPS doing to keep that from happening?
Yeah, so President Trump got rid of the sensitive location policy that used to be in place that now allows ICE agents to go into schools and hospitals and even churches. Um, CPS has said to us that they're still keeping in line with the Welcoming Cities ordinance. That is basically why we're a sanctuary city. And they're still not cooperating with ICE agents unless there's like a warrant in place.
Well, legally, can ICE come in there? So you're saying it's illegal for them to go in here in Illinois. What about other states?
Yeah, so in Illinois and in Chicago, I can speak more so to Chicago. Chicago Public Schools has said that um they can own that ICE can go into school buildings, but the barrier to entry is very high. They have to have their credentials present. They have to have a reason. They actually have to have a criminal warrant signed by a federal judge. I'm not sure about what's going on in other states around the country. I would assume if there are sanctuary cities and sanctuary states, they might have very similar policies, but I don't know for sure, to be honest.
We know that there were a lot of deportations taking place earlier this week, and there were several here in the city of Chicago. Do we know if any of them were kids, and were the kids taken at schools or taken at home, or where were they taken? Do we know?
I haven't seen those reports myself, so I'm not sure. But we'll be on the lookout for that because things are rapidly changing. And like we said, now it was people afraid of stepping outside of their school building and going a block away and running into ICE. And now it's like ICE can be right at your school's front door waiting for you. And so we will be checking to see what happens to family and children who are detained by ICE agents.
Do we know what limit the schools can go to? I mean, as far as maybe keeping the kids on soft lockdown past 3 o'clock dismissal or having them come in earlier? Have we heard anything like that?
No, we haven't heard anything like that. The CEO of CPS said he wants to make sure that schools are safe for kids. He don't want kids to not go to schools anymore. Most of what will happen now is like all up to families, parents specifically about what they want to do with their kids. Also, if a parent is detained by ICE, CPS has been working with local nonprofit organizations to ensure that there's a family plan in place. So emergency contacts there to help the child, have somebody else come pick them up at drop off and pick up and drop off.
So it sounds like Chicago specifically and Illinois, because the governor says that that can't happen here, not on
Yes.
his watch. But we know that there is a plan in place. And what do you say to kids and parents who are watching, who may be a little afraid tonight?
Yeah, I think that's a hard question for me at this point because I don't know if I can say anything that will ease their fear. This is a scary time. we've never seen these executive orders. But I will say I do think that staff and teachers are trained to know what to do if ICE comes knocking at their door. They are prepared to take care of their students. And there are community organizations out there that are willing to help. Chicago Public Schools has an entire website that's dedicated to that information. So I would tell any family member to go there to see what local community organizations would be there to help them.
Do you know that website offhand?
Um,
That's okay. Google
okay,
it. We'll have them
sorry.
Google it. That's
Yes.
okay. I shouldn't have put you on the spot. That's okay. We'll have them
okay.
Google it to prepare
It's in our
folks.
story.
Okay, it's in your story. Chalkbeat. Check out Samantha Smiley's story in Chalkbeat. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, you too.
Thanks.